Wakeboarding in the Olympics? ?
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Retweet.
We had breakdancing, Ruck. Did you not catch that whole debacle?
Yeah, it was a debacle, but
We got a delivery.
RJ, we got
a delivery right here.
Bring it on in, Robbie. Yeah.
What a
We're
legend.
perfectly halfway through this Mount Rushmore. So, does anyone have a bottle opener?
No.
I approve waterboarding. They're talking about wakeboarding. The thing about wakeboarding, every trick is an invert.
Backside.
Air railing.
A new dimension.
All right, we're back. Another episode of the Grab Matters podcast. Today we got episode 6 of Shop Talk. All recurring guests. Erik Ruck to my right, Jake Pelot, and Guenther Oka. Thanks for coming out, boys. Really appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. Glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you guys back in the newer studio. So we started off the last one with Mount Rushmore and got a decent response on that. So we're going to run the Mount Rushmore back, and we're doing the Mount Rushmore of Wakeboard contests ever to exist. So we didn't have to attend these. You didn't have to compete in them. You didn't even have to see them, but you just had to hear about them. So I think we start with Guenther on the left. So Guenther's going to pick one. Jake will pick. I'll pick. Ruck will pick twice. Then, snake draft. It'll work its way back around. So,
Oh, you're giving me an easy.
Well, you
start.
got one. You
I
got the first
appreciate
one.
That. Wake Open.
Okay.
It's a gimme. One that I always wish I could have competed at, but that one's would have been top of the list.
Yep, that was high on my list as well. So that's a easy 1-1, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my initial thought too.
Yeah,
but my next go-to that I missed also would be bro stock.
Oh.
I was creeping up to trying to compete there, but I was still too young when they nixed it. So
Nice one.
Dang, that is
The OG board stock?
bro stock.
Oh, bro. Yeah,
Bro stock.
yeah. Two different ones. Wow.
yeah, Bro Stock. Bro Stock was actually not on my list. That one slipped my mind. I'm going to go a little bit more recent. Shredtown Jamboree, which I guess isn't that much more recent than probably the last Bro Stock that happened.
Yeah, it's probably
They were probably pretty close.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Shredtown Jamboree, which you were at that, right, Guenther?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2016.
Okay, that was 2016.
That was a good one. That was a game changer contest.
Yeah, that's kind of where my mind was at with that one.
I'm going to go with a real far out one that I was at, which was the Red Bull Depth Charge, which was the rail contest in the caves. I think it was in 2002, and that was just a completely trippy experience in general. It was pretty wild.
I've tried to find clips of that, and I can only find this one obscure thing on Facebook that is not doesn't show the contest. It just shows the caves.
Yeah, I think it was a TV special,
Okay.
just a one and done TV special, and I don't think a follow up edit or anything ever really came out of that.
Bummer.
Was it live? Like a full on?
No, it wasn't live. It was 2002, a long time ago. But it was one of when Red Bull really jumped in doing obscure cool wake contests. It was definitely one of the first ones that was pretty out of this world.
Do you remember? Did it have a winner? Do you remember who won?
Yeah, PB won it for sure.
Okay, thanks.
It was in a mine in Bonne Terre. It was called the Bonne Terre Mine, but it was in Bonne Terre, Missouri, just in the middle of nowhere, and it was crazy.
All right, I like that one. Depth Charge did not have it on my chart. What's your second pick? You go back to back.
Okay, my second one back to back will be the Carnival at the Projects.
I had that next, so that sucks. Okay, Carnival. Yeah, I feel like that's another game-changing contest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good one. Let's see, where do I want to go with this? I'm gonna go Double or Nothing.
Nice.
It's just a lot of history has been made at the Double or Nothing contest.
100%.
So, this last year. So, all right, what do you got, Jake?
I think I'll go fees next.
Yeah,
Those were always really fun and hectic.
for sure.
And the atmosphere of having however many people throughout the weekend there and that close to the action is something that I've never seen aside from that event. So
Yeah, bring that back. How do we gotta
Right?
bring fees back? That was always good energy, I feel like. All right. You got Guenther.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of a shout out too, but Wakefest,
there you go.
just so fun. The boat arena, getting to ride through all of it. I don't know. That's pretty all time.
Yeah, I had that on my list.
I feel like, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I feel like that is the one wake contest that embodies like what old school wakeboard contest was about, just from the vibe, the people, the, you know, participation from the crowd to the riders and everything. I mean, that's what it was about.
One we all like. All the riders, I think, look forward to it every single year. Like, it's going to be a blast.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit later because I do want to talk about this last year's Wakefest. But we're back up to 50K, right, for the shootout?
Yeah, this
so
year.
we love to see that.
We love to see it.
We love to see it. All right, you got another pick. So you're back to back too. So we're coming back down, snake draft style.
Okay. I'll go Red Bull Wake Capital in Hamburg 2021.
Yes.
That's just, you know, that was my first proper Red Bull event that I got to attend, get the whole like Red Bull treatment, and they went all out for that setup. So that's just a firsthand experience. That one was sick.
Was that the one where it was like a big drop to start and it was changing elevation with the water?
Step up to the barge, and then you
Yeah.
had like the kicker to the container, come back around over the barge, and then like a kicker hit over the like sea level barge as well.
Yeah, that was like a legit setup.
For sure. And it was like pretty burly.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
But the production of that was like, you know, it was all live on Red Bull TV. The dudes, like when we were practicing their camera movements at the same time. And like, it was just so well done. And the trophy was sick from it.
Yeah. Love it. That's a good pick. What do you got, Jake? It's your third one, right? Yeah.
This is my third, yeah. So I think my third, I'm going to circle back to another one that I never did, original board stock. Countless stories that I've heard about what that event used to be, and you can probably add to that atmosphere, Rucky. But
Yeah, I mean,
We got a delivery.
Arjun, we got a
delivery right here.
Delivery.
Hey,
Bring him
Robbie.
on in, Robbie. Yeah.
What a
We're
legend.
perfectly halfway through this Mount Rushmore. So, does
Great
anyone
job.
have a bottle opener?
no.
This is a bad look for the podcast. I don't have a bottle opener. You got a bottle opener? Yeah.
here, hand me that scissors.
I guess we got keys. We could do it with keys. Yeah, it's some man shit right there.
You want me just to
Take one down,
pop
pass
them
it
in
around.
half?
Sure.
Pop and pass them
Yeah,
down.
we love that.
All right, so you just took board stock, Jake, right?
Stock, yeah.
I feel like we can get at least a comment or two out of Rucky because you were there, right?
Wait, hold on. So Boardstock Canada or the Boardstock West Coast?
Good clarification.
I was thinking it was Canyon Lake, right, at first?
Okay.
No, board stock. The
Yeah.
original board stock was the original was Shasta.
Shasta.
It was there for a couple years, and then it moved to the Delta, and it was in Stockton, in the Delta. And then from there it went. I couldn't tell you. I can't remember because I think the last one that I really did was one of the last ones in Stockton.
Okay.
And I think there's tidbits of that in Switch 22. There's like little cut ups or like mashups of like
There is.
stripper poles and boats, and like it
That chaos
it looks like
ensuing.
that, you know. And like
I believe that was from the second year of the original location in Shasta.
cool.
Wild. You
We
look
got
pretty-
one more cruise.
Pass Rucky.
Should be one.
Koozie.
Thought I had
Uh,
four. Yeah, there you go.
Gunther's doubling up.
Double fisting, Guenther. All right. So you took board stock. I'm gonna go real wake. Not a traditional contest in the sense that like your people are going to it, but again, game changing for wakeboarding without a doubt. Also, bring that one back. Let's bring that one back.
Definitely. Well, along that same playing field, if you want to bring that one back, I think we should bring back wakeboarding to the OGX games.
True.
Because that was, that was just such a cool thing for wakeboarding to be involved in such a, community of action sports at the time. So
Yeah, to be held on that same platform as every other.
yeah.
Are you thinking boat then? Like just boat, or you think?
No, I mean, so I rode in boat X Games for the whole time, and then the last year was a Rail Jam X Games that had wake skating and wakeboarding in it.
Really?
Actually on site, like by the mega ramp and everything.
Yeah.
I believe that was in 2005 or 2006.
That had to be the last one then, right?
It was.
Okay.
It was the last one.
How'd it go? You go pretty well?
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was it was literally in the main area where, the mega ramp was, the half pipes, the street course. It was in the main section. So, I mean, there's a ton of people there. And yeah, I think it went over really well. I think it was just kind of right at the time when X Games really started changing what sports they had in. There was a lot more, rally car racing and a lot more motorized sports and all that type of stuff.
And I feel like they've gone away from that now, though. Like I feel like there's snowmobiling's out of Winter X.
I feel like they're kind of trying to rejuvenate maybe that original vibe a little bit.
Yeah, which would be cool. Good to see. So you got another pick back to back.
Okay.
So this is your last one.
This is my last one?
This is the last one.
I got a couple more that I really had.
We'll do honorable mentions at the end. We can do honorable mentions after.
Okay. Well, then I'll save this one for the honorable mentions. But I'm going to pick the OG wake stock in Canada. That wasn't there was some sort of board something in Canada.
That's what I'm thinking.
But the original wake stock in Canada was the first contest, I think, that like truly embodied wake and rails. So there was like a full rail division, there was a full wake division, there was wake skating, and then wake skating had wake and rails. It was really cool. And like Pat Panakis would go up there with like his whole crew, and they'd build all the rails. So like the rails were super legit. And it was like basically like the Canadian Carnival, but with wake in it also. So
they were the first to like kind of embody every aspect of it.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It was cool because it was just, it was pretty. Some of the rails were pretty heavy too, so like you really kind of had to have your head in the game for both events. And meanwhile, it was a big party going around all around you also because you're in Canada and it's summertime.
I feel like that was a common theme back in the day.
It was a common
big
theme.
Party was.
Yeah.
Again, bring those back to you. All right, that's a good list. I think you got there, Rick. I'm gonna go with my fourth pick, going Wake the Line. Nice. Another one that isn't happening, but just needed to be on somebody's Mount Rushmore. So
that is
the Line.
That is a classic.
That was my next.
Yeah. All right, what do you got, Jake? Last pick.
I think MASH is one of the most impressive for me to watch. Like seeing how legit the live stream is and how legit the crowd that shows up, the setup, like every aspect of it looks so dialed. And Guenther, you've been, so you can probably attest to it. But it seems just like an unbelievably run event, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it puts you on the best stage possible, I think, and gives you the best opportunity to showcase wakeboarding like to the masses in a bunch of different forms, from like the double XL kickers to always a pretty tech rail setup. I think that the mega ramp was superior to everything, but that's maybe a conversation for someone else.
We can talk about. I did want to talk about MASH later too, so we can dive into it a little bit. But yeah, MASH is just like feels super buttoned up. Like I could show my mom Munich Mash, and she's gonna be able to understand what's going on, which is huge. So
it's
a good pick.
It's very visually pleasing, like the whole layout of the course and like just the
subtle buy level. Like it's not super aggressive.
Exactly.
There's people all around. Yeah. Cool. Solid pick.
I think Wake the City, which is the doubles contest, is like totally a new era, new format. And when you're there on site too, it breeds that fun for wakeboarding. It's so less competitive, and it's so just like there to have a good time with everybody. And synonymous with what we've all been saying is a 2.0 in a public place where you bring wakeboarding to the people. Like that's what's been ringing out to me through like all the ones that we've picked, and that's what I think wakeboarding needs.
And the team aspect too.
Team
aspect. Like so rare.
Yeah.
So it's best of many worlds. And I've heard. I mean, what do the riders think of it? Because I've only heard good things from like the actual rider feedback.
It's super fun. I mean, it's like you have to team up with somebody and really work together. Truly, where wakeboarding feels like an individual sport most of the time. That this totally changes it, and so you're there working together. You're changing your riding style to match with your partner's riding style as well. And like, I don't know. I think you just see. It's less about how many 180s we can do and how many technical tricks we can do, but using the course differently and teamwork. Really.
Well, it's a bit hectic too because you're riding the same, which is cool. It's good. So
a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good lists.
One more thing about the Wake the City is like the cool thing about it. Like I haven't been to one. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I'm going to the one in Milwaukee.
Yeah, please.
But the cool thing is like all the media from it is so much like smiles and like all the other contests as cool or game changing as they can be, they're still a contest. Like everyone's got their game face on. It's the real deal. But this one, it's like lots of high fives, lots of laughing, lots of smiling, and it just seems like such a community event that it's cool to bring that to the, to the masses so
True.
people can see an event like that and be like, shit, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out Massey.
Shout out
Leading the way on that one. I saw him up in Milwaukee recently.
Yeah, he was
like
there a
sinking
couple days
dogs
ago.
and going on the news. It's
At a
like,
Brewers game.
You're the man, Massey. Thanks for that, dude.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need you.
Totally. All right, we got some honorable mentions. So you said you had at least one, right?
I do. And this is actually one that took place. It happened 3 years in a row. One of the years is actually where Massey's event is, Wake the City is going to be. And that was Double Up Del Noche. It was a nighttime double up contest in the Midwest. And Mastercraft sponsored it. And one of the local shop up there, the board shop, was kind of like their crew put it on. And they did 3 years in a row. And every year was a nighttime double up contest. And it was just, just a really fun event. And it's like something you can't really practice. I mean, who's really going out smacking dubs at the middle of the night just to go practice that, you know what I mean? So it just was what it was. But there was actually some legit riding that went down, but it was just fun. And it was another one that just brought, a fun aspect of wakeboarding to a big group of people. And it was in the Midwest. So like there was always a big crowd. So it was fun.
That was right on the beach at Lake Geneva there, right?
That was one of the spots. Yeah. That was one of the spots. Yeah.
Great place.
Can you run on the lighting situation? How was
So they would basically just have big stadium lights.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
at the Lake Geneva location, they rented like a couple big stadium lights, and then they also did it where Dano does Cornfest at the Aquanuts show site. Same thing, just big stadium lights, and then the spot in Milwaukee where the contest is. There's already. That whole area is completely lit up because that's where Summerfest goes down, which is just like a huge music festival. And
that's where this Wake the City is, right? That Summerfest
In
location.
conjunction with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's at the same time?
I don't think it's at the same time. I think
okay.
I think the actual Summerfest is already wrapped up. It's like the end of June through like almost the middle of July.
Cool.
But they have festivals going on there.
Well, it's
all
like a
through the
festival
summer.
ground type.
Exactly.
Looks like
So it's
an
gotta be-
awesome
Yeah.
spot for it.
They have German Fest there. All the different.
Cool.
Okay, so kind of touching off that before I do a couple honorable mentions, I feel like there's not a lot, or maybe any really, like, besides Wake the City this year, but like big pro level contests in the Midwest anymore. And that's interesting to me because the lake culture is so strong. So I don't know, is that something you think it should be thought about bringing back? Is like,
100%.
yeah. Because it seemed like back in the day there was quite a few at all those like Midwest style areas. So it's like,
Well, this year, you had a pro tour in Indianapolis?
Yeah, we did Indy
yeah,
this year.
and that seemed like it went pretty well.
Yeah, it was solid. I think, like, every time we have an event in the Midwest, especially Wisconsin, it seems like the turnout is insane. So I would be all for pushing that aspect for sure.
Absolutely, love it. I got a couple honorable mentions here. So, Toe Jam.
Oh,
It's,
yeah, Toe Jam was great.
Yeah. I also got the 2009 Rio Bravo Pro. Never heard of this one before, but Randall Harris won, so I just wanted to put that one out there. Cool. He took down Phil Sovin.
That's pretty sick.
Phil fell, but like it still won. So I wanted to throw that one out there. I don't know. You guys got anything else on your list?
Ooh, Tomar Pro.
Oh, yeah,
That's,
that was...
that's like an
that was a
honorable
good one.
mention, like low key, but like was really fun, super sketchy.
Yeah.
Another version of bringing wakeboarding to the people on a 2.0, but pretty unique that they set it up on like this crazy angle over a waterfall. Like they thought outside the box when they set that one up, and it was fun. It was a good time.
Some gnarly clips came from that.
Yes.
Oh,
Slams
that
and
was-
makes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was wild.
So
You got anything, Jake, or is that you ran through the list?
I think I'm pretty good with where I'm at.
Yeah. All I had other than that was less than 5.
Guenther, what was the other Red Bull one that you just were asking me about before we were talking about? The
oh yeah,
golf
sure.
course
Yeah, I'll
one.
shout it out and see if Hunter can work his magic. Red Bull Winch Masters.
Winch Masters, yeah.
So this was
I haven't heard of it. But
there's only a write up on Alliance from 17 years ago.
oh,
But it was on a golf course towed by winches, and from what I remember, I like briefly saw photos at some point in my life, huge drops, like really fat down rails, and I was waiting for Nick Taylor to get back to me because I think he got broken off there. So
Really?
wait for a phone a friend maybe.
Yeah, no, I was there. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was super crazy, gnarly features, and some of them were pulled by winches, and some of them were pulled by skis. Like that one really gnarly drop was pulled by a ski.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes hand in hand, though, with, what I think will come up next about the Rotterdam stuff and having like a winch style contest come back. And I don't know, there's a lot to that is pretty
And I want to dive into
yeah.
that because we'll go over Streetjam as well. And I
Yeah,
think
cool.
there's a lot of good cans of worms we can open there. But
Love it.
if you guys have your Mount Rushmores, drop it down in the comments below. Curious to see what other people think about, the best wakeboard contests ever that have gone down. But on that list, there was a lot of good ones. So I think it's time we dive into the LF'n Wheel of Questions presented by Liquid Force.
The LF'n Wheel of Questions.
Okay, let's go.
So, Ruck, you're the closest one. Do you mind grabbing that down? There you go. So, Liquid Force likes to make wakeboarding fun. So, I think we make this podcast a little bit more fun by spinning the LF'n Wheel of Questions. So, I lost my dry erase marker, and I've done this way too many times. So, I had to improvise. But we got some of the classics on there. Steal a trick. I think you spin it, Ruck. We all answer.
You think the sticker and these Post-its are going to throw off the weight
I think it
displacement?
will, but I think we need to do that after the Chase podcast. I think we need to throw the weight off. So, yeah, give
good
her-
call, good call.
give her a
Okay,
spin.
here we go. Almost a goat.
I'm glad.
It was close.
I'm very glad it's not a goat. What is it?
Steal a trick.
Okay. All right. We've done this one a couple times, but not recently. So you kick it off, Ruck.
So what? Steal a
You
trick?
get to steal a trick from anybody in wakeboarding, from any era at any time.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Was always a fan of this trick. I always tried to do it. Well, I did do it, but I don't think mine ever looked as good as Kobe Mikasich's and Mike Wennington's slob front to fakie. I know now slob is a taboo grab.
Sure,
But I don't really give a shit because they made
I love it.
They made it look really cool.
Those fronts were so good.
Nice.
And if you've ever watched Hit It or Mayday, that section when they're at Powell, there's a lot of really good slob front to fakies that go down there.
Nice.
So
Sick.
yeah,
Like that.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go something that I have never done and probably will never do, but Trent's air Pete. So Pete rose off the water.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Actually, I preferred the Tootsie.
See,
the
yeah.
East
Tootsie was pretty crazy.
So, okay,
Tootsie
was it
was
Tootsie?
nuts.
What is it? Is it a Tootsie or is it East Moab?
I mean,
I don't know.
apples. I mean,
Is it the
potato,
same thing?
potato. I think so. Yeah, toe side front roll, or like back 180. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I like both. of
Both were epic.
them. Yeah. His air tricks are just him and Gavin too. But I mean, I just watched Trent's Nationals run as
Yeah,
well. That came to mind. So
So nice.
yeah. What do you got, Jake? What are you stealing?
I think I'd go Danny Harf, back three method off a double up. And from Alcer, I think is the one I'm specifically thinking of. But
Wow, you pulled that one out.
yeah,
It's a good one.
I think about that trick a lot. I used to do them on the cable, definitely like inspired by that. But thinking about trying to do it on the boat, it's like I can't even wrap my head around it. So
Yeah. It's a good pull. I like that. Guenther, what do you got?
That's pretty funny because I'm also going with the Dan Harf move, just the nuke blind Pete.
nice.
Maybe off a dub too because that rotation, toe side double up, the way he just the classic Danny takes off, lands like he never took off.
And the handle throw mid
Sure,
blind
yeah.
beat.
That's a trick I've never done, and so yeah, shout out Dan Harf, man. That's it.
Yeah, taking 50% of the steal of tricks right there. That's huge. Love it. All right, we got a LF'n wild card. It's a little bonus one here. And the boys at Liquid Force are wondering who our favorite person to road trip with is. So
Shane.
that was quick. What do you
I
got?
think
Paul?
I'm gonna go Ruck.
thanks, Georgii.
See, now if Ruck doesn't take you, is this gonna be awkward?
It's
or
gonna
is
be
it-
so awkward. We're not gonna get through it.
I don't know if I have an answer for this. I haven't taken that many road trips with a lot of people, so I'll just say my buddy Matt Gagnon that nobody listening to this podcast knows.
I know Matt.
Okay, yeah.
Legend from West Rock. Yeah.
Yep, he's notoriously good at eating shit. So yeah, who you got, Ruck?
I'm gonna go with the Golden Bear.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
fair play.
Love it.
You never know where you're gonna end up. You never know what you're gonna get into.
Total mystery mission every single time.
Yep.
Love it. That's a good one. Okay. All right. Thanks to Liquid Force for the LF'n Wheel of Questions. You can put that back up there, Ruck. Much appreciated. Thank you. I saw a clip on Instagram the other day. I forget the girl's name, but she was riding with her laces just complete, like cinched down, but not like tied everywhere. How do people? I'm wondering if anybody's done that or does that, but I can't wrap my head around how you could do that.
That drives me pretty crazy.
It drives me insane.
No.
Like on the boat, I could maybe see it, but on the cable, couldn't you land on top of the thing? And
she was riding cable.
No, it was boat. It was boat, but it just.
Well, I know like Ty likes to ride super loose boots, but he doesn't got shit flopping all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
But these things were like, it was noticeable to me on like an Instagram reel clip. I was like,
tighten up.
Yeah, cinch them in somehow. So I was just curious if you guys did that or not, but I think it would drive most people crazy.
You're right though on the cable. Like I used to think about that a lot. If my little clip popped out, I'd be instantly putting it back on because I don't want to transfer or something, land right on the.
Yeah, then you stick or something or break it. So
I actually thought more like wrapped around the handle maybe, but maybe your foot, maybe your hand's like getting that. I don't know. There might be a stretch. But
needless to say, there's the bad options can happen. So just tighten those suckers up. Let's talk cable contests. So we've had quite a few cable contests. Still got one more coming this year, Red Bull. And I'm curious when it comes to judging at cable contests, how heavily do you think reverts in a run should be punished? So I've seen them quite a bit, and I'm curious on like both full size versus 2.0, like what the thoughts are on it. Because on a full size run, like I don't think you should revert in a run, like in a full contest run. But in a 2-tower run, I think if there's a turnaround, like you can totally change stance. Like I think that's fine. So I'm curious your guys' thoughts on that.
I agree with that. Like, I think I notice it a lot more if it's like a 1-lap full-size event. If you're not planning your run to where you don't have to switch around, I feel like everybody's skill level is at the point that they can plan a hit to match up with their previous hit, and it's cool to see when people actually plan it and do that.
Yeah.
But when I feel like things get a little more chaotic on a 2.0 event where a lot of stuff is packed in and you're kind of just making it work. And I think I noticed that less. But if it's like in at the Langenfeld Open, like that kind of setup, like I really like to see those runs that just flow the whole way through.
100%. Yeah. I would agree with that. But curious.
yeah, I agree. It's like we're at a point now where you should be able to like lock it down, like do it, adjust your trick selection or either add 180, take 180 off, coming off of a rail to make it seamless for yourself. I could give you some leniency on a full size, like if you're going around the backstretch, and there's nothing going on there, like whatever, it's dead space. Same with the turnaround, but like we did Copenwaken, there's 4 features in it. Like, come on, you can figure it out from like one to the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know,
I guess my thought is like maybe more specifically, how should it be judged? Like if there's 2 runs that are identical, obviously the revert run's going to lose. But like let's say there are 2 runs that are close. How much should the revert like affect that person's score? Like, I feel like a decent amount, especially if we're talking like four features in a run. But
I kind of feel like that kind of ruins like the overall view of the run because you're kind of losing the flow in the middle of a run.
Yeah,
but it does like how heavily you weight it is a difficult conversation. If somebody's run is significantly more difficult, do you dock it?
That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Is like where is that line of, well, he reverted, but his run was way harder than the other guy's run. You can't just.
I think that the reality is that as much as we talk about it, I don't think it'll be incorporated into judging because I think that either for most of those cable events and if it's like live scoring, I swear that's like the last thing that they think about. They say that it's like, hey, build your run like you would want to film a video part. You know what I mean? Like. But I really think when it comes down to it, it's like they're looking at who came off the rail early, who wasn't perfectly teed up. Did your
spinning both ways, or you?
I think
switch
that's
regular.
like that would have to be the biggest nail biter in the entire world, the tightest margin in that, and then a video replay or something to watch it. So as much as we can sit here and talk about it, I don't think it'll be incorporated. Actually,
fair enough. I think it should, but that's fair. I would agree because there's a lot to watch as a judge. Yeah, especially at a cable contest where there's a lot going on. Boat contest, though, what do you think boat-wise? I think it's almost a totally different thing.
Now, boat, I think, like, the worst is landing 180
Don't tell me about the double revert.
The double revert's insane. You know what? I did a little double revert this year. Yeah, I was pretty bummed about it, but it was at Wakefest. It was super rolly, and I just kind of, let me just see what's up here. But the double revert's like so lethal, man. Don't do that.
So I had almost changed my mind because when I was talking to Shota about this, he had a totally different viewpoint on what a contest run is behind the boat. He said each hit is just its own hit, and like he doesn't count all the stuff in the water. He's like on the sides. He's like, I'm only counting in his brain basically what he's doing wake to wake, then the next wake to wake. And I thought that was an interesting viewpoint on it because I'd never really heard anyone put it like that before.
Yeah, but I think you could argue that with any cable event too, right? Like it's
Fair
features
point.
are hitting, not a. So I think if you care about the composition of your run, the less times you can do that, the better. But whether it comes into play or not is a whole nother story.
Yeah, fair enough. And Guenther's probably right with we're just talking in circles and nothing's going to change.
Well, the one thing actually that I like about, or like that I think is almost maybe more important in a run is landing on edge out and then coming right back in instead of checking the wake, which like we all do it. But sometimes I'll get that perfect, like my first run is, there's no 180s in it. And when it flows perfectly, I land on edge on every single trick and I never check the wake once. And it's like, to me, it's a great feeling because you're just like, you can do 4 tricks really fast, but so I feel like there's something kind of seamless and it's just this one fluid, never-ending motion, like back and forth.
Especially spectator-wise, too. I think that's where cable has a little bit of an advantage because no matter what, you have to hit everything in the pass. So there's none of these, like, dead moments.
Yeah.
Where, with boats, sometimes you do get, like, the check in the wake, and it's like, well, I have until the buoys, I can do it. So, yeah, that's good take on that. Let's talk PWT. So we're talking boat contests. PWT number 3 just went down by the time this comes out, like 2 weeks ago. And I wasn't there. I didn't see it. You were a judge, right, Jake?
I was just judging surf.
Just judging surf.
Wakeboard,
Okay.
yeah.
So, but you were there, obviously.
I was
Guenther
watching.
as well. I didn't hear much from it other than Finn versus Shota sounded like it was a close contest. So I'm just curious. This was head-to-head format, so they went head-to-head. Curious what you guys saw in those 2 runs between Finn and Shota.
Yeah, I think.
Gunther's face
No,
right
no,
there.
no, sorry, no, you run it.
So Shota clearly won the double up. Finn clearly won the run. It's best 2 out of 3 categories. It came down to best trick for who was going to get through that round. Finn did a great nose grab toe 10, and Shota did a great nose grab crow 7. So it came down to probably 2 of the most similar tricks to try to argue difficulty, and it was a point of contention around there for sure.
I mean, what do you think's harder?
I think I told Trevor Hansen in the boat, like he asked me what I thought, and I was like, I could argue with you for an hour
Both ways,
and telling you that I'm right. Like I don't know.
Guenther.
I think that like a proper nose toe 10 seems to be less common than any sort of grab crow 7. So that's where I lean.
You lean a little bit towards the
toe 10
spin.
Because the crow 7, you can kind of fall out of it, like using your momentum of the the flip.
Yeah,
you get a little more snap
for sure. Then they were both like Shota's crow 7 is like about as textbook as it can possibly be, But also Finn's toe 10 was just as beast and as clean as it could be. So
those are tough to compare too because they are basically almost the same trick. Like they're spinning the same amount of degrees. It's just one's a little bit inverted. So interesting on that one. Let's talk Herb's Cup. So Jake, Ruck, you guys were there, right? Both of you guys?
Yep.
So how'd it go? I mean, give us a little rundown.
What is Herb's Cup?
Yeah, what is Herb's Cup?
Okay.
Probably a lot of people don't know.
So Herb's Cup is a slalom contest at Radar Lake. It was originally started by Chris Sully. Back in the day, they've done it a couple different locations, and then Brooks Wilson has ran it for the last 7-8 years. And it's just an homage to Herb O'Brien, and it is a slalom contest that isn't ran like a normal slalom contest. It's basically, what's the actual breakdown of it? You get a time, you get like a certain amount of time to hit as many buoys like lengthwise as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think it's 8 minutes, and you can choose what line length you want to start at, and you can skip them up to 39 off. The only rule in it, as far as I'm aware, is you have to run 39 off before you can get into 41.
Right.
But aside from that, it's 8 minutes. Pick your passes and see how short you can get it.
You can start or go any direction. Like if you fall in the middle of your middle of a pass, you can go back and do the same way. You can rest at the end. You can take as much time as you want.
It's your 8 minutes to do whatever you want with.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty much.
I think that's the biggest difference, right? Is it's a time rather than in a normal event, you can't miss a pass.
Yeah.
So if you miss a buoy at 38, you're done. But in Herb's Cup, anything within that 8 minutes. So you can fall. Joel Poland had a great crash mid.
I'm pretty sure I saw this one.
Yeah.
And got right back up and did another pass still within that time frame. So that makes it really exciting.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it at Radar Lake is that the course is like, the buoys are 20 feet off of shore?
Yeah, it's close.
So
spectating
it's like,
looks unreal there.
it's right in your face. And, I think they make it as exciting as a slalom contest can be because it's nonstop action and it's a little less, not regimentated. Like, I don't know if that's a word, but, it's giving slalom skiing as much freedom as they can get.
Yeah, the skier can choose how they want to approach to get their best run or whatever you call it. So, who won? How do you guys say this guy's name?
Stephen Neveu.
Okay.
He's won it the last couple of years. Really, really talented skier. Not gonna lie, was rooting for Poli for a little bit of an upset, but you can't deny Neveu's a beast.
He is a beast.
Yeah, I saw some clips of him with the trophy with beer in it.
Oh yeah.
All I'm saying is if Joel Poland would have won, he would have scalded that beer. It looks like Steven was sipping. That's all I'm saying.
True. It was a pretty serious death cup, though. There was a lot going on.
Oh, was it a mix in there?
It was not like 2 beers. It was went around the campfire, everybody.
So that's very important information to know. You scalded out, you're done for the night, sounds like. I think we dive into another segment called Deserve Some Love, presented by Driftline. So Driftline makes the best boardies in the game. They got a built-in wetsuit liner, keep you warm, keep you protected on the water. Use code GRAB15 for 15% off your order. You guys have been on the show. I don't think we had it when you were on, but it's just a chance to give someone, a little bit of love in the industry that, maybe they didn't deserve, and could be anyone, in the past, present. I'll kick it off. I'll go with Massey, because I think bringing this Red Bull event to the United States is huge. I don't know what the circumstances were behind it coming, but having a Red Bull event like this in the United States is really, really big for wakeboarding. So I think it's, he's an integral part of that. So I think he deserves a little bit of love. He gets a lot of love, but he deserves more. So I don't know.
It's a good one.
It's cool to have pretty much the biggest Red Bull contest of the year in the States be a wake contest.
Yeah, 100%. In the Midwest too, which is like we were saying, not a lot of wake contests in the Midwest. So I think it's cool. Bring some energy to that scene.
Definitely.
So if anybody's got another deserves some love, I don't know.
I'll go Dano. I think
I was thinking Dano too.
Nice. You can tag on. We can tag team it. But no, I think he's gotten a lot of love as the voice of every wakeboard event almost ever. But what he does so much behind the scenes with working full-time job and doing all his other events that he does with the Thigh High and Cornfest and all the other things that he's done to contribute to water sports, I think is pretty amazing. And kind of goes unseen when he's the announcer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that he has a lot of involvement in like planning events and stuff.
For
they
sure.
just see him as like the voice of it. So that's a good one.
Yeah, no, he puts a lot of love into everything. I mean, the amount of time they put in like Cornfest, like what blows my mind is, Cornfest last year had 5,000 people there. Over the weekend, there you pay at the front door, whatever the fee is, $10, $15. You get all you can eat free corn. There's a beer tent. There's different events for the kids to participate in. There's different events all day long. And it becomes like an all-inclusive like event for everyone to feel a part of. And I feel like that's a one thing that like the Pro Tour like needs to like bring back is like making people like spectators, not just show up for these 3 hours and watch the best wakeboarders in the world, but like an inclusiveness of building a community around wakeboarding again, and making people feel a part of it, and giving people a reason to stay, camped out somewhere for a full weekend, which Dano and Jane, you got to give a shout out to Jane with that too, because
For sure.
Dano's lady.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's huge. I think it's like you were saying, it's crucial to have all that extra stuff to get the people to get their eyes on it. Because
I was even thinking like at Pro Tour, it's like I know like are autograph signings still a thing, but like I feel like they could be like just interaction. Yeah. Let's give the people an opportunity. Yes, they can build up the courage to come find us in the Riders 10 or do whatever, but like let's give us the opportunity and them the opportunity to have a designated time where you should come up to us.
Yeah, you guys are heroes.
Say what's up.
So you're telling me that they don't? Sorry, I haven't been to a
Pro
Tour
you're correct.
in a minute.
Yeah, they don't.
No,
they don't.
The only event I think that still does it is Masters.
Yeah, Masters. Yeah.
So
and it's just not T athletes, and so
exactly.
I'm like,
here's something that
go for it.
They're sorry. I didn't mean to jump all over that. I got all excited because a lot of the point of the autograph signing wasn't necessarily just the autograph signing. The autograph signing would be set up at the local dealer, and you're bringing a whole line of hundreds of people that get autographs signed and then walk straight into the booth, and then they're looking at all the gear. Like it's a little bit of
gives people a reason to go into that booth and check out
for sure
gear.
Exactly.
And to watch you in the contest too, because they met you.
For sure.
I want to root for that guy. He was cool.
Builds a connection.
It's huge.
And like I get it too if Super wanted to do just a Super Riders thing, but like I think still if you did top 10, top 15, like let us all like we're all great people. We're all gonna like take the time for the most part and like make that person who came all this way to watch us feel just as special as like the next, I guess, and we enjoy that too, So
and like back in the day, like the team posters and all that were huge, awesome. Like people every year would be like, "Oh, I have my like back in the day, like I have my poster of you guys from 5 years ago up. I got every one on my garage." You know what I mean? Like that was like what people were stoked about, and
I've still got a bunch of them.
Oh, me too.
As a kid,
I have like an epic, the CWB one,
yeah,
where they like all are on like the one mega handle. It's like the sickest. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the meet and greet aspect. I mean, the autograph signing, however you want to wrap it in, but if you don't have that meet and greet, how is a kid gonna meet any of these? Like, they're not gonna go up to you and say hi.
It's
no kids are gonna like.
It's
very
intimidating.
rare.
Difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. But you have to give them that exact moment of like, oh, they're inviting me to meet this person. That's huge. So,
yeah, my deserve some love is I'm gonna go broad, and we're all like kind of on the same wavelength here, but it's just like event organizers. Because I just got back from one in Virginia, and like these guys did it because they love it, and that's the same with the Wake the Desert crew at Texas Malibu or like the Wakefest crew. Like, and I'll say the same for Bish and everybody who does the WWA events. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, I know, and the same is like it's easy probably for the autograph signing to get overlooked, but anybody who hosts a wakeboard event, big or small, I appreciate y'all because we couldn't do it without you guys. So
yeah, you gotta give a shout out to Bish. I mean, Bish for
grinds.
Bish was putting on contests of judging when I was a Grom. He's still doing it.
Yeah,
he has hustled so hard to keep wakeboarding contests alive and do so much. I mean, yeah, Bish is a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. Run through that event, and was it Virginia Beach?
Yeah, just like the local crew there. This was their second year doing it, I think. And so the founder of it, Brody, he had like stage 4 testicular cancer and survived. And so his whole cause now is Shred for the Cure. So all the proceeds from the event go to like a really good cancer research foundation. So all the vendors who came through and like the musicians and stuff and the entry fees, I think all went to that cause. So kind of had a bigger meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And
really cool.
They're just like a rad group of guys and girls who love wakeboarding and water sports. So it was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, because Finn went to that too, right?
Yep.
So that's cool to get some bigger names.
Yeah, they threw a good little prize purse for us too. So I was like, yeah, appreciate y'all for that. So
there you go. Love it.
And now for a quick word from the Canvas shop, which is home to skiboatcovers.com. So if you need a new ski boat cover, skiboatcovers.com is the place to go. They have you covered. Family owned and operated for almost 50 years, they've been manufacturing top quality, custom fitted, American made covers for both ski and wake boats. Made with durable, weather resistant materials, their covers are built to outlast factory covers and competitors' covers alike, while always protecting your boat from the elements, ensuring it stays in pristine condition year round. They are easy to install and designed to fit perfectly. They are the best choice when it comes to aftermarket covers for your boat. Don't let the rain, sun, debris, or anything ruin your ride. You got a nice boat, get a nice cover for it. If you need a new cover for your boat, visit skiboatcovers.com. They have you covered, literally. And when you do, make sure you use code GRAB50 at checkout for $50 off your order.
We got a Patreon question, early Patreon question from Rich Wheeler. And he's talking about life jackets. So, Jake, you wear a CGA vest. And he says it's commendable that you wear one. Not a lot of pros ride a CGA vest. And he's curious as to why you do and if, you know, what it would take to get other pros to ride a CGA vest or if that's something that should happen.
I have multi-pronged approach to it for sure. One of the things, Murray has always been pretty big on CGA vests and not restricting your movement. And we've all ridden in some pretty bad ones for sure. But his point that he pushes is it's a lot safer. You're going to float higher. It's going to be a surefire thing that if you get ejected and knocked out, you're going to float. So I like that message. But to bring that into actually doing it, the right vest was kind of the key. So the Supreme CGA vest is like the first one that I've felt that feels like a slightly thicker comp vest.
Yeah.
Like it fits really well. There's foam where you need it, not foam where you don't. So I do feel like I can move exactly the same in a CGA versus a comp vest. So in that respect, I might as well ride the CGA. If there's no physical holdback at all, like promoting that seems.
Yeah, definitely. And when I was talking to Kevco, I don't know if it's still happening or in the works, but the talks are happening of like retooling what a CGA vest actually looks like. Cause I think in America it is overkill. Like I think we are not too flotation. You can't have too much flotation, but like we don't, to have it be a very safe vest, we don't need it to be quite what we have now. So I think that that's also like, I think a lot more riders, if it was retooled a little bit, would probably be like, oh yeah. Like, cause some of them are really bulky. Like you'd have to try on a ton to find one that's like fits your body type perfectly. So
he's saying they're actually going to change the definition of a Type 3 PFD.
They would change what it requires the flotation to be for that vest to be like CGA approved or whatever. Because I think
more like the Aussie Coast Guard approved kind of vest.
Is it like CE approved is like Europe or something, and then Aussie has a
yeah,
different one. It's like something more similar to that, which I think would be really good because I think that would be like a great middle ground because there is points I think to be made for an athlete who doesn't want to be held back by any form of restriction.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at trick skiing.
Yeah.
True. Mm-hmm. Very true, yeah. We got another one from Campbell Scarborough. Patreon question from her. She's wondering, what are some of the main cultural differences between the boat and cable worlds? So I think it's kind of an interesting question because I'm sure you've both have been to both, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
So I'm curious, your guys' thoughts on like what are the differences when you go into these different world championship events?
I think maybe for boat, everybody definitely holds themselves to a pretty high level of seriousness. I actually would say though that LF'n's doing like a really good job of kind of peeling back the layer on that one. So the events have been like pretty damn fun because of that. Cable, I think has always been there's just straight up more camaraderie because you show up to the park, you watch everybody ride. There's no hiding your tricks or there's no hiding like what you've been working on. It's damn. Trent just did like the most hectic rail-to-rail transfer ever. That was epic. Good job. Now you're pushing me to go do something bigger and better. And so I think that is such a stark contrast where you show up to the boat event and it's like, what has Corey been working on over the past 2 weeks? Like we're about to find out, I guess, where cable, it's all right up front. So I think it's just cable's a little bit more communal, better camaraderie. Boat's a little bit more cutthroat. There's also more money on the line. That's maybe off the top of my head.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's sums up what I would say the differences are. I don't really have much to add to that.
I mean, La Familia definitely peeling that back a little bit.
For sure.
It's making it
from
really
the video
fun.
evidence I've seen. Looks like it.
So
Lots
fun.
of creamy pints.
So many pints, dude.
What's the Instagram handle right now? What is it?
I think, what is it? Drinking
Drinking
pints?
pints.
Drinking
Pints.
pints.
Yeah, give it a follow. Give Drinking Pints a follow.
Shout out Drinking Pints.
They're splitting G's all over the world. Some other industry news. Sammy Kautner. I don't know how you say that last name. I think he's German.
Yeah.
He was on Sling for a long time, and he just switched over to DUP. So
Cool.
Some industry news there. I don't know.
Dub's picking up people for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it, right? Definitely some people getting picked up. So that's cool. Huge fan of that guy. great style.
Good steez.
He had one of the best presses I've ever seen. I'll throw the clip in, but I just posted on Instagram the other day.
Good snowboarder too, right?
Yeah, him and Yannick.
Yeah, they rip.
So they're
Yannick rips.
dual sport athletes right there.
We love that.
Good style too.
And it's good to see, I mean, on a whole, touching a totally different conversation that we don't need to dive too deep in, but I love seeing that too, because worldwide, I mean, think about how many wakeboard companies there are, and think about with cable, wake. Really, I mean, realistically, even though, you know, the competitive side of wake contests, I feel like are a little smaller, and I feel like overall it's been growing and consistently growing worldwide. It comes to a point where it's not like they're, with the amount of wakeboarders growing, that, you know, back in the day there was like 20 wakeboard companies. Like, some of them were huge, some of them were in the middle, whatever. But needless to say, there was a lot more sponsorship money and budgets going around. Like, it's good to see more companies coming up willing to support riders, because 5 wakeboard companies can't support, 500 plus pro level wakeboarders.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on the cable side, like, there's so many riders that are insane. So yeah, that was cool to see.
Yeah. All right, so we're diving into Foama edit from, it's Felix and Dom, Red Bull kind of thing, but we got some cameos from some very, very good riders. We're going to kick it off with, we're not going to go through this whole edit. We're just going to go through a couple clips. Obviously, I'm going to link this in the show notes. Watch it. This is, I mean, if we're talking edit of the year, video of the year, like, this is a very strong contender, because some of the riding that is in this video is absolutely insane. So we're going to kick it off with Felix, his first front board, I think, is at this 110 mark here. So I'll put the clip on the screen here for the YouTube. Obviously this gap first, but let's take a look. Yeah, this front board here.
It's terrifying.
Terrifying, and the pillars on the left, looker's left, I guess, or like, just not a lot of room for error.
No, if he pushes to get out of something, he's like up against those things.
Yeah, and then the other side's concrete.
Look at even how he kind of almost like Janet's it, like on the way out, or like, yeah, just to not pop off. That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, he ran that. Look at the rope right there. So he ran that one all the way to the end, which is sick. So
yeah, there's a lot that could get squirrely on that.
Yeah, so that's another good clip from Felix. We'll grab the Timo line, which is at like the 245 mark in this.
That one of Dom's so chronic,
like,
though. This one's insane, actually.
All right, we'll watch this Dom one too, though, because I feel like Dom's one of the only people who lands sideways on stuff like this. Like, there's a centimeter of water, and he's like, I'll land sideways on it.
Except for Trev Marr as his ender.
True, yeah, which is a huge bump drop. But like, yeah, that's
But it's Dom, so it looks so stylish.
It looks good, yeah. Like, Dom's one of those,
didn't even look sketchy.
It's like Baker Maker style. You can do whatever he wants. I think this is the clip I'm thinking of.
I would love some insight if they put a bump here or not, or if that was just straight concrete.
For this front roll?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good to get some insight on this, because that is an insane line on a winch.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, we love that.
Ridiculous.
We love you, Timo.
Yeah, I don't know. Timo hasn't had a lot of clips, but when he's on camera, it's you're watching.
He gave that one.
And then we got, let's see here, moving forward, we got Tobias's wall ride. So this is like,
Tobias Waller is really fun.
He just posted on Instagram today, and it's just so good. Coming up here, obviously Felix, perfect grab.
Nose press. I mean, come on, that's a fat nose press.
Oh, I blew past it. All right. Kid always on point from Tobias. That's what you expect. But this is just, it's not even wakeboarding. What is that? It's like snowboarding. So, I mean,
yeah, that was good.
It's insane. So that, and then one of the most mental board sides I'd like to hear Guenther's thoughts on this board side.
Oh, this rail to rail, dude? Oh, that.
No, not this one. Just the janky,
like the
rail
broken,
with the curve broken, and then back to the rail again, and he decides to go side. I don't know a lot of people that would look at that and be like, I'm going to go sideways through it. Like, look at it's all sorts of messed up. But that's
insane.
Insane from Dom and the crew. Just a lot of clips. Ender clip from Felix. I mean, I feel like that's a toady trick we could be looking at maybe in the end of the year here with the wall ride situation. But yeah, go ahead and give that a watch. We're not going to go through any more of it, but everybody should give that a watch. Speaking of clips, I don't know if you guys seen this one on Instagram.
It popped up on my reels.
Yeah, so I saw this.
The algorithm gave it to me.
I don't know where it was, but I saw this the other day. And okay, so we're at a cable park for the listeners, and we're doing a dock start. And for people who don't ride much cable, usually if you're getting started off the dock, someone's giving you a push, on the back of your board or your back foot.
I saw that.
And we got some ingenuity coming out of, what is it, South Korea? Wake Seoul? I don't know where that would be, but
yeah, sure.
It's in a different language, but I don't know.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was awesome.
I'm curious. Like, it looks like it works here. I mean, it does the actual functionality of someone's arm. So,
like, let's just say that you're at that's my pet peeve at cables is that they don't have a dock hand, or the operator doesn't get out of the booth to help the person
they're
off the dock.
just tossing handles.
That could be an epic alternative to like giving somebody that kickstart that they just might need, because sometimes that yank can be pretty aggressive. That could do it.
I like how Conrad just let you know about that.
So that's where I got this one from. Conrad hit me up with that. But I honestly, let's see what I commented back, because I'm pretty sure I was like, I fuck with this. Like, yo, actually though, it's actually pretty sick. So I'll put the clips into this. But like, I don't know. I'm just curious. It's interesting to see these weird innovations come from places that there could be a path forward here to make cable riding even a little bit easier to get started. Because like Guenther was saying, it's like, sometimes you just get the dock hand who isn't into wakeboarding and just tosses a handle, and guy gets smoked and he's never going to wakeboard again. So
yeah, my opinion is anything to help
100%.
that experience, all for it.
Yeah, 100%. So maybe we'll see some more actuators on the dock in the near future. I think
I was just going to say, anything that can take away a bad first experience is definitely welcome.
100%. Yeah, it's on the boat or on the cable too. Both of them. If you can, the more we can eliminate those, the better. So love that. I think we dive into another segment presented by Fatsac. So we're going Fatsac Fast 5. So everybody knows Fatsac. They make some of the best ballast bags on the market, but they also make this 50-pound bag. And I'm pretty big on this 50-pound bag, dude. I think everybody who has a boat that you're towing people with should at least have a couple of these in the boat, if nothing more than to just balance the boat out and not have to talk to people to tell them to move, because that's like one of the most annoying things on the boat. So go ahead and get yourself. Oh, did I just knock over a beer? Yeah, I did. That's sick. So yeah, go ahead and get you one of these. Use Grab 15 for 15% off your order. Get your wake dialed in with one of these 50-pound bags from Fatsac. So the Fatsac Fast 5 is 5 rapid fire questions, and we're going to go around. So I'll ask them. We'll start with Ruck. We'll go around one by one here, and we'll just keep them quick, keep them rapid fire. But last time you grabbed Tindy, Ruck.
Last time I grabbed Tindy.
Yeah, it's the first one.
You wanted these to be rapid?
I mean, as fast as we can go. Yeah.
I
guess last time you rode a wakeboard, when was that?
Like a straight wake set it's probably been about 2 years, like behind the boat.
Okay.
Ridden a good bit of cable at Lake Ronix, but then been doing a lot of foiling. But Tindy, it's definitely been grabbed by me many a times, but I couldn't tell you the exact last time.
Fair enough. That's all right. I mean, I feel like sometimes you either know or you don't. Like I had one the other day, and I was just off a kicker and just accident, but I knew it. Like I was just like, that wasn't where it was supposed to be. What do you got, Jake? You hit one recently or no?
Not recently, but mine would probably be the last time I did a switch front to fakie. Like not Tindy, I guess, like slob.
Sure. That zone, the board, yeah. Fair.
I think I'm more of like an Ellen guy. So maybe on like a Pete, I think I get an Ellen here and there. So
yeah. Just that zone of the board is what I was going for.
Happen,
so yeah.
Well, see, because back in the day, I grabbed a Pete slob also.
Wait, but like front hand or like on the back?
No. So like you're coming in if you're left foot forward, you come in and you grab across because then you're pulling, and that's the way Scotty B originally did it. Was a slob Pete Rose.
That's kind of sick though, maybe because mine's like my hand's trailing on the.
Melon side. That's like pulls it through. Yeah,
exactly. But that's like cranks on it.
Grabbing it slob squared you up and pulled it around.
There were some slobs that did look pretty damn good. I will say that. There's a lot of them. But I was going to say last time you rode a wakeboard, Ruck, you said 2 years ago, about behind it like a boat set?
A boat set, yeah.
Cable? What are we looking at cable? I mean,
probably, let's see, 6 months.
Okay. Ruck, or not Ruck, Pelot, last time you rode a wakeboard?
3 hours ago.
Love it. That's the one I was.
Guenther?
3 hours ago with Jake.
Sick. That's what I was hoping for. Last wake edit you watched that wasn't what we just watched. Foama.
I just watched that one today.
I mean, that counts if you watched it separately.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's fair. That plays. Jake.
Like last week, I rewatched part of 12 Honkies, and I didn't get through the whole thing in that sitting, but that would be my next most recent.
Okay. Guenther.
I'm thinking it was Don Pedro, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
That checks
that
out.
was fire.
That was insane.
That was really good.
What's the next NBD you think will be landed on the boat?
That's a tough one. I know Tai Tai's been talking about some things, but I don't want to blow him
No,
up.
we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at we're talking about some things. I like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing. We don't know.
I reckon the 14.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like Corey or Shota could like rip a heel 14 or something like insane.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah, I would like to see more and not just, jumping on the tie train or even Max. I'd like to see more wake stuff that is like wrapped, long, grab, double, spinny, flippy stuff. You know what I mean? Like where it's not just either how many times you can pass a handle, squeeze a grab in as fast as you can.
Yeah, some Trevor Maurer stuff. You're getting all sorts of.
Cook, you should have Cook on here. He's always sending me some like, dude, if you hit it wrap this way and held the grab all the way through and laid it here, I'm like, sounds like a really nice toe edge I can get from him too, but it would be sick.
Last one, early roadie prediction. I guess technically early, right? Because it's announced after the new year. So yeah, we're a little over halfway through the year now. We got any thoughts?
Overall, just
Rider of the year, yeah.
I guess it's not separate, really, is it?
No. Which that could be a discussion in and of itself.
That's a tough one, too.
It's tough because you're thinking videos, you're thinking contests, you're thinking boat, you're thinking cable. Not a lot of people do all those. There's a guy to our left that does. I don't know. Any names? Any names jump out to any of you guys?
I mean, I feel like,
Gunther's got a big smile on right now.
Sorry.
I feel like Trent's got a shot.
He's been killing it.
No. You can't do Rider of the Year back to back. Or like, nobody's ever won Rider of the Year twice.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, is that a rule?
It's not a rule, but
Vandal won it twice, 2002, 2007.
he won it 1.5 times because he shared it with
shared
Parks,
it,
though.
yeah.
So it's like
1.5
Yeah,
X.
so I think I've always been told that once you win it, you're just in, and it's like you don't win it twice.
You're part of the voting committee or whatever at
Correct.
this point.
Yeah. I see it passing from one Stucky to the next.
G Stuck.
Yeah, Gavin. Also...
Or give it to a chick. Rivers has been ripping.
Rivers has been fucking ripping.
On a tear.
Contest-wise, trick-wise.
And
And
it's
you
insane.
know that some of these people are sitting on some clips, too. You know
Sure.
Gavin's probably sitting on clips.
Always.
Yeah.
Imagine Rivers is sitting on clips, too.
Also, Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he just makes...
He just makes
Everything
wakeboarding look
looks-
amazing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
insane.
And a lot of content, too. I feel like there's been 2-3 edits
Yeah,
this year from him alone.
He always has edits.
Yeah,
too.
always.
Yeah.
And they're always heat. So yeah, there's some good names. I mean, obviously it's still early. There's a lot of time left in the year to see what happens. But let's talk Mash, Munich Mash. So we touched on it a little bit earlier, contest wise. I mean, we were all kind of agreeing it's one of the best looking contests, very buttoned up. You mentioned Big Air earlier, Guenther, and I'm curious because I'm not going to talk down on Mash. It's one of the best contests of the year. Like it's amazing. I'll always watch it. But when you take out the Big Air, it definitely does remove a certain aspect of like the wow factor of that contest. So I'm curious if that would Big Air ever make its way back into wakeboarding as a whole?
I think it should.
Yeah.
I think at that event, it was really progressive of kind of to your point of like you could add grabs for longer and still get really technical stuff done, because you had so much more hang time, but you also had the soft landing. And I don't see why not. I think that setup's perfect for it with the micro step down. It's too good. And, maybe some of the other ones, like I never rode the Lake Ronix one or the Rising High one properly, but those are gnarly step downs where that one was kind of like a step up and over in a way. So I think the door is so wide open still. Like, we almost just started scratching the surface before it was taken away from us. And somebody like Trent on that, or Gavin or Pedro, like,
Right.
what comes next? Like, you know, it's pretty fun.
It'd be cool if they could modify it so maybe it wasn't like something that just took up so much room, and that was like try to incorporate it into more of a course. So like
It's not its own separate
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it can be, you know, a part
That's
of
cool.
the overall.
Do you know what took it out of MASH?
I've only heard rumors that it was like upon removal of it in 2017, it got damaged and it was way too expensive to repair and storage or something. Like, just rumors.
And it's probably a lot more work too, just in general, to put that in than to
Think
put
so.
But yeah, it looks sick. So I'd like to see that definitely come back. Let's talk Copenwaken, another Red Bull event, right? Happened the same weekend as MASH, right?
Same weekend as MASH. Yep.
So would have liked to see them happen different weekends, but I'm not going to complain about all these Red Bull wakeboard events happening because it's just
Me neither.
insane, like so sick. Well, the one thing I took away from this, I took a couple things away from watching. Victor has a good recap of just kind of like showing the atmosphere, embodying it in Victor style, obviously. But I think like the bar for what would make a good wakeboard contest is if you can spray the crowd.
Dude, he lit them up. It was so
Smoked
gnarly. I was like, I was like gonna dip my head, like, oh my, I can't believe you just did that, dude. Like, threw a wall on them twice, on the way down and on the way
you did
back,
it both
dude.
ways.
Yeah, it was gnarly. But Copenwaken was awesome, and
Yeah.
that's kind of going back to like shout out to the event organizers, because this is the first time they've done this event since 2017. You know, so much they did such a good job with so much room to improve still, but also crushed it at the same time. So I think that's an event that I would love to see come back and continue to make it better, because it's like you walk out of the metro station and you're right there. Like, or there's a bus stop across the street and you walk out of the subway at the other spot and you're right at the event in front of like beautiful downtown Copenhagen. Really fun way to get people to watch wakeboarding.
Yeah, and how wide would you say that canal is? Because it looks pretty narrow.
It's actually wider than you would think. Like, you could probably do like a full carve, like not like a slalom pass, but like you could carve it up like super well. They just had, I think they were limited to where they could run the 2.0, so like the waterway kind of curved and they had to run it straight across it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but down the way there's like a straight section of it that could almost offer a better pass. So they were working with what they had. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. But it looked like there was a ton of people there.
Yeah.
The setup actually looked pretty kick-ass. Like, I love when there's stuff like the plexi wall or whatever that was. Like,
plexi wall is cool.
It's different. It's gnarly. The angles are not perfect unit angles. It's like, it's loud.
It's kind of old school.
It's old school,
kind of
yeah,
old
in a
school.
good way. Like,
Same with the rail next to the car was like,
I thought that was sick. I saw some comments hating on the width
I did
of
too.
but I think incorporating that DJ booth Red Bull car was a really sick way to like put that in the course.
like, yes, maybe the dimensions could have been slightly different, but also that's what's so cool about all these events coming back, or, you know, the talk of old school events coming back, is that the new school riders take a completely different approach on it. Oh my gosh, Kieran like safetied over the whole entire thing to like front board on the down. I just hit the incline and gapped over the whole thing. All the chicks had like 10 different lines on it, and it was just like everybody rode it new school way on what might be considered an old school rail.
and Victor went off and tapped the
of course,
thing.
come
It's
on.
like, I didn't know anybody complained about that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's dumb. I shouldn't complain about that. That's
Yeah,
sick.
whatever that wakeboarding is dead account, dude.
Oh.
Get out of here. Come on, bro.
Oh, that's like, and the plexi wall was super cool too. I just love all that little different stuff. And yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's almost why it's better, is when
Right.
it's not perfect, because there were some good slams on that wall.
there were some good slams.
People flipping into it, not
Girls,
flipping.
they went hard, dude. It was awesome.
And just like what we were talking about before, with Victor spraying everybody, like we're talking about Herb's cup, it's right in your face.
Yeah.
The more you can bring it in your face, that rail is right up against the wall. People like seeing people slam, like.
Yeah. It's got to be a nightmare to try and plan an event in these waterways, especially in America. I can't even imagine the amount of work you got to put into it, but yeah, seems like it pays off at least. So, and I also thought there was a good collection of riders here. Like, I didn't see a full riders list, but like Graham was in it, right?
Yep. Graham.
Clem Nadal, Luke Carrick. Like, these are people that usually aren't in these type of events, which is cool.
And no doubt it would be much better to not have it as the same weekend of MASH. But regardless, when people want to come and they want to build wakeboard events, cool, let's let's not dog them too hard for overlapping because there's only so many weekends. Let's just hope that in the future we can work together a little bit more. But like, I'm so glad that it happened, regardless of that.
Yeah, and those are also two very, not very different contests, but MASH is a totally different vibe than this Copenwaken thing. So it's yeah, of course, it would be great if they're back-to-back weekends, but, perfection's the enemy of great. You can't be all upset about all that stuff. So what was the purse for this? Did you remember?
It was just 3, 2, 1 for each, and then a best trick purse for like $1,000 or something, or like 500 for the men and women.
And what was the format? Because I was trying to follow along, but I couldn't really.
It was just head-to-head, best run counts out of 2.
I love a head-to-head, dude.
Pretty easy.
You can't go wrong with a head-to-head. I feel like it's just so simple to follow.
That is the one thing that I will say, though, is that we need better payouts, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's starting to shrink, and I think especially for just, like, the top 3 to get paid is, like, we need more than that. Like, everybody's out here sending it the whole time in practice to get nothing, potentially. Like, come on, like, throw us a bone. So,
yeah. I think, what would you rather see, like, in a world of increasing contest pay? Would you guys rather see pay down further or just lump it at the top harder?
I think further.
Like, let's say you add $10,000 to a contest that has $3,000 of current prize purse. Would you rather see like it heavily loaded on the top, or would you rather see it spread further down? Obviously, a little bit more at the top too, but like pay down to 10 or something.
Yeah, if you spread it out, there's a field that has a reason to go, and like the event will never be as good if there's 3 people that are going to be clear 1, 2, 3. Then 6 through 10 have no incentive to show up. And the event doesn't have the same effect when there's not enough people kind of fighting for it. So I think paying out is valuable in that respect of encouraging people to come take part, even though they might not be truly in contention to win the event.
Yeah, totally agree. I think paying down further is like the way of actually growing the pool of competitive wakeboarders is to give it's going to be a long shot to beat, some of the top guys, especially in these cable contests and boat contests. But if you pay down further, it's like, okay, I don't need to get podium to make this trip profitable for me, so.
And not only the Copenwaken hooked it up with accommodations and a bunch of other stuff, and then MASH does the same and things like that, But
yeah, just in general though,
still,
we
like it.
And you generally end up seeing better riding too. I mean, because I feel like back in the day, before this became just a road tour, Malibu had an event that was called the Malibu Just Ride, and it was a contest series, a 3 contest series. And if you were invited to it, you automatically got paid, but then there was like extra incentives for best tricks and best whatever. But then you'd have these events where everyone just went and threw down, and there was no pressure, and like the riding was insane, and the crowd loved it, and you were still competing with each other, but everyone went. It was fully, worth it for them to go. They could pay for their expenses, and the riding was like just, on a different level because you were in a completely different mindset than you were in a normal contest.
Yeah, let me play it safe so I can just maybe get third, and I'll walk away with a little bit of cash. It's like
exactly.
Exactly.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Riding level increases. Interesting.
That's cool.
Now for a quick message from our friends over at the WSIA. The Water Sports Industry Association's Wake Responsibly program works to promote and protect the waterways and water sports we all know and love. By staying 200 feet away from shores, docks, and other boats, minimizing repetitive passes, and keeping music at a reasonable level, we can do our part to create safe waterways that are enjoyable for all. This education is incredibly important to ensuring we can continue to access waterways across the country to wakeboard, wake surf, water ski, and more. Visit wakeresponsibly.com to learn more and access resources to protect access to wake sports in your area.
Speaking of purses, Wakefest, Tennessee. Other side of the coin here. Back to $50K for the shootout, right? So I guess for people who don't fully know what Wakefest, Tennessee is, you guys were both there, right? Were you there, Ruck?
I was not.
You both were there?
I wasn't there this year.
You weren't there either. Guenther was there.
Just me? What
Holding it down. Okay. So I guess, but you've been in the past, right, Jake? So you kind of know the vibe. But like run through the whole weekend, I guess, of what Wakefest, Tennessee is and looks like.
Yeah, it's everybody shows up, Thursday night, I would say, and then the amateur divisions begin on Friday. So there's kind of houseboats are set up all the way out at the event site, which is only accessible by boat. So you show up at the marina, everybody kind of starts trickling out to the site where it's at. Fridays amateurs, and then ends with a pro men, just like normal wakeboard event. So 4 down, 4 back, semis and finals. Then everybody comes back after that. Parties at Fish Lips. They always bring in like insane live music, and just it's a really great spot for everyone to kind of like reconvene at the end of the day. Saturday morning, everybody goes back out. It's amateurs again. Then the women's wakeboard event, and then the shootout happens after that. The shootout is all the pro riders go into a houseboat, and you're just posted up there. One by one, they call you out, so you're not supposed to see what the other rider does. You just go out and have to send it, either play it safe or send it hard. And then everybody goes one by one, and same thing. Everybody comes back to the marina at the end of the night and goes hard. The winners are announced, and it's a pretty good time.
La Familia drinks a million beers. And so I think, that's a really cool thing. I think I've talked about this when Ty was on the pod, but like not seeing the other people's runs in this houseboat is a very interesting and unique thing, because you can't play it safe, really, right? I mean, can you tell? Like, what?
Like, okay, I this year, I went out on the jet ski, and Ulf started his run.
Yeah.
I chose not to watch him because I was like, not that I was like totally playing by the rules, but I was doing my own thing. I was like,
you're in the Guenther zone.
I was in the Guenther zone. However, probably would have been really helpful if I watched him and watched him lace 4 insane tricks to the flats and be like, oh shit, I got to get on the gas. So instead, I kind of like went a little soft and, stood up, but not enough.
Yeah.
But that's the concept, though. I mean, that's it to a T, that you don't watch what the other rider does.
It's integrity of the game, too.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So yeah, you either stick the run that you have in your gut, or you just like go all out,
You're only competing against yourself, really.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to put down your own best run, and so is it just one run?
One run, yeah.
No falls. It's 4 tricks.
Yeah.
So if you
Fall,
fall,
you're done.
I like that too. Keep
Yeah.
it moving quick, and then just winner just takes 50K. Winner takes all.
Winner takes it, unless you decide to split. I think Ulf got all of it. So
Decide to split. What do you mean?
like hey, you win, I get 5K. I win, I'll give you 5K. Maybe a little how we doing, but I don't think that came to fruition for anybody.
Strategy. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Smart. So was there any close runs? I mean, I guess you guys didn't watch them, right? I feel like I haven't seen any of the runs come out. Have they been posted or anything? I haven't seen it.
Ulf's came out, didn't it?
I think so.
I saw Ulf
Yeah, I thought I
somewhere,
saw
but
it.
I haven't seen like any of the highlights of the action. But from what I heard, Nick and Ulf were in a similar situation.
I heard it was a similar thing as last year.
Yeah. And I mean, Nick's the number one contender at that event, I would say, because he's so lethal. He's so consistent in every single condition, and he's always like really technical, But the criteria came out right before Grub. The whole boat came up to us right before the event began, and it was, we're all there. And, hey, we want to see tricks that we don't typically see. We want to see tricks that are going to get the crowd super hyped, and we want to see you go big.
Yeah.
Ulf pretty much just
Once you hit those,
every box,
see you go big. Yeah.
It was to a T that, and Ulf delivered on that. So,
yeah. And contests are a game, right? You play the game to what the contest is laid out to be, and if it's going big and tricks,
and a back 5 or a tantrum of blind in those conditions, landing blind that deep in the flats on rollers, it was insane.
I think that is an understated part of it, is how bad the conditions are there to do what he's doing is pretty insane.
So for people who don't ride a lot of boat and definitely don't go to the flats, how much harder is it for what he did in those conditions than it would be just a normal wake to wake? Is the difficulty ramped up because exponentially because he's going to the flats than just wake to wake?
The difficulty of the trick, for sure, just based on that.
Yeah.
But then you take into account that the boat is bouncing down the course the whole time, so the wake is going from perfect to curled over to flat, so you don't know how you're at luck of the draw with getting a kick off the wake.
Yeah.
So then taking in that extra speed and everything is just, it's pretty legit.
Yeah. I got to find that round, put that in, because it's just watching him go to the flats. I could do that all day.
Touching on the involvement of people, I think they do a really good job of creating an environment of, it's definitely the hardest contest in the world that I know of for fans to get to.
It is. It's not
they
easy.
have to
there's no service there too.
Yeah,
right?
you're out in the middle of nowhere. They have to drop their boats in. They're there for the whole day, tied up with whoever else. It's a really big commitment, but they've done such a great job of creating that experience for the people for the last however many years they've been doing it, that it's built up and people go through that struggle because it's a worth it event to spend your weekend at.
So why is it worth it? Because this day and age, people can just sit on their phones or play video games or whatever, and it seems like the hard things are harder to get people to do. So why is something like this? What are the external factors you guys see at this event?
Really close to the action. It's like like the
like I
cable
finish my
events.
run
Yeah.
and I whip in. And
You're high-fiving.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, I swim into the boats and like, then we're all there with everybody.
Okay.
That's a big part of it. I think the atmosphere of just like, you're going to, as a fan there, you're going to cross paths with a lot of people just by being there. So it's not like you and your family show up and you do your thing for a few hours. Like, you're kind of forced to be in the mix of everything, which I think creates like a community aspect to it of like you're hanging out with people just by being there, that you wouldn't typically, whether it's a rider or family you tie your boat up next to or whatever it is, like you're going to cross paths with a ton of people.
Yeah.
It makes the riders more accessible to the crowd too.
You can't not walk on the back of 30 boats down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just happens. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd love to check that one out because it's only heard good things about.
Yeah, that's one we should
Wakefest,
bring you
Tennessee.
to next year. I like that.
I'll do some live on
Yeah.
action reporting there. So we got some Instagram questions we can rip through here. Austin Keck 88. Ruck, you might be able to speak to this one a little bit. He's wondering about some upcoming product line release dates, anything to look out for, maybe some cool products that are coming out, maybe Guenther too. I don't know if you guys have been.
Yeah, all of Ronix is dropping September 1st. So, yeah, check it out, ronixwake.com.
I brought my board, but I left it in the truck.
Ruck, I think we should drop him.
Jake, where's our product placement? Come on, man.
And anything, I mean, any cool products, anything you guys been working on? Obviously, September is just around the corner at this point, but I mean, anything unique, anything cool, anything you guys are looking forward to?
I think we got a couple new things in the cable world I'm pumped on, and a couple new boat boards, some interesting foil stuff. I feel like all around, the last couple of years there's been the COVID hangover. There's all the companies have been forced to carry a lot of stuff over, and I think everyone is finally survived the COVID hangover and is, back to being able to make new cool shit again. And I think the next couple of years are going to be really cool because I think there's been a lot of creativity pent up
That's a good way to put that.
by budgets. And, sometimes you just got to weather the storm. And then generally, if you can weather the storm, shit gets really good afterwards.
I'd like you to dive into that a little bit more because I wanted to ask you about, kind of the state of the industry. You're behind the scenes pretty intensely. Where is it kind of standing? Maybe Ronix radar, obviously you're very in tied with, but I feel like you can extrapolate it to all the other brands. Like, where do you think we're kind of standing right now, COVID hangover wise, in the next few years? What are we looking at?
I feel like the board companies are, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now. I feel like, no one was exactly sure how long the COVID insanity was going to last. And, it kind of shut down, I think, a little sooner before everyone thought. And right when, you couldn't get product, and then all the dealers went crazy and everyone made a shit ton of product. Everyone ordered a shit ton of product. And then next thing you know, there's a lot of product sitting on shelves. And, especially this time last year going into pre-book season, all the dealers, they just got their asses kicked all summer long. The last thing they want to do is go write a huge pre-book with these companies. So for a company to be able to do forecasting for the year for product, realistically write their budgets for marketing, for all that, is all based off of what you see in pre-book. That gives you a huge indication of where you're going to be at. And last year was so far off. Never, ever has there been a time in the industry where there has been a night and day difference from like COVID to the COVID hangover. There's been waves. There's been some big waves, but never has there been a black and white like we saw last year. And that was, I give credit to every single wakeboard company out there that navigated this and is still paying riders and is still making new product. All the companies got the shit thrown to them and did a good job of surviving, without a doubt. So I think a lot of people in the industry that feel like wakeboard companies got shiesty through this. No, sometimes you got to go into survival mode to make sure that there still is wakeboarding.
Yeah, good insight there. Very good insight. That's I think a lot of people
That's
probably
sick.
need to hear that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good point on we got companies still paying riders, making it work. And I think we're coming to the corner of, bottomed out on the way back up.
100%.
Maybe it's another year or so or whatever it looks like. But I think it's going to be, like you said, once you weather the storm, after you get through the storm, you're going to have some good stuff come after, I think.
100%.
Love to see it. We got another one from Mark Riley. He's going, why are there no American companies selling U.S.-made manufactured features? And I can answer that. There are not enough wake parks in America. There you go, Mark. Next one. Fanny packs. So I think we've asked this on the pod before, but he's wondering front edge or back edge.
As somebody who caught a back edge yesterday, front edge.
I'm team front edge too. I would much rather take a front edge.
You can always see it coming, right? Back
and you can pretend like you can prepare for it.
Yeah, back edges almost always get you by surprise.
Yeah.
I'm with you. 100% front edge.
More of a nose pick kind of guy. Just straight tomahawk. Had one of those at Pro Tour. Actually really rang the old bell.
Well, the nose picks are definitely the most comedic to watch.
Yes, maybe that's it,
A nose pick will string you out. A front edge, you're getting slapped. You know what I mean? A nose pick is going to string you out, and a heel edge is just a KO. So.
Just a headache, for the rest of the day.
I saw this clip on Instagram the other day. I think I shared it, but I don't know who it was. I'll put it in right now and give credit, but he did like a double flip. He caught an edge so hard.
Oh, it was Graham.
It was Graham.
He did Pete.
Flipped again.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to have some momentum if you're doing that. That one's got to hurt.
Yeah.
I asked the question the other day on Instagram, or maybe I think Inside Wake asked it, and they're wondering if pros should pay to ride at cables, and kind of what that dynamic looks like. And we got a question from Wolf. It's Wolf like 6 times on Instagram, but he's wondering how much is social media reach worth in terms of getting free tickets at a cable park or riding for free, or what's that like dynamic kind of look like? Curious.
I never mind to pay for a pass. Obviously I love not having to pay for a pass, but I never expect it because I'm happy to contribute to your cause because you're contributing to mine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to, like, if I go to Valdosta, dude, yeah, I'll pay your pass because I know that's going into the next rail or into the next, dock renovation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think, at ODUB, Red Bull's partnered up there. So that's a great option for myself to get a free pass because Red Bull's, we have this partnership there. Same with like Liquid Force supporting parks, like, and having a Liquid Force rider come. Those bigger dealings make sense, but we just went to Copenhagen. There's a sick park in downtown Copenhagen. Peter, the owner, greets Megan and I without even knowing we're showing up and gave us the warmest welcome that I could ever ask for, and that only made me want to share as much as I could about his park. You know what I'm saying? And so that makes sense. There's kind of that like love that gets reciprocated back.
For sure.
But at the same time, I'm always down to like, I know if I'm supporting you, it's hopefully going to the better for the park.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are questioning like, well, what's the value of all the social media stuff? And I think it was you and Megan when you guys went and visited West Rock. I don't know if you did like a reel or whatever, you did a post, you did some social media engagement stuff where if at the very least you can get a couple more people to come that day that wouldn't come to pay for a pass, then I think that's kind of where you're like, your gauge is of worth it or not worth it. So like if you're just expecting to show up, post a story and then nobody sees it and then you're gone, it's like, well, that's not valuable to the park really. But if you make a little bit of a thing about it, like not a demo, but just like, hey, come hang, ride with us. We'll be here 4 days, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
I think that's probably where like the value line should be drawn. I don't know.
That makes sense. Not just using it for your stuff, but creating an involved atmosphere where people can kind of take part.
Community, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of where the line is drawn. Thoughts, Ruck?
Yeah, especially, sorry, tongue tied there. Especially if it's your local park, it's where you ride all the time, especially if they have a pro shop and you're, the guy on the dock that's moving boards and they can completely equate you to moving product for them and all that type of stuff. That's a totally different ballgame than showing up to someone else's scene and walking up and just expecting a free pass.
Yeah, absolutely. One last Instagram question from B. Fordham. He's wondering, wakeboarding in the Olympics, ?
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Retweet.
We had breakdancing, Ruck. Did you not catch that whole debacle?
Yeah, it was a debacle, but there's nothing powering it.
I think that's the big separator. And and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like if surfing, when it went in, if it was a wave pool, then that brings in motors.
Then you can argue cable.
Yeah,
without a
exactly.
doubt.
Yeah.
As soon as that happens, you can argue like a Munich Mash or something like that. You know what I mean? Since it's natural and there's no gasoline, no engines, no electric.
Yeah.
I'm curious where the line's drawn on this because all the snow events, you're taking a chairlift to the top. These guys aren't hiking. No, I'm half serious.
But
some
in
of this
theory,
stuff,
you could hike, right?
So if we're just playing on theory, like, yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
right. Like, it wouldn't. I think a motorsport domino would need to fall, like an IndyCar racing or like something like that would need to be
Right.
to just break the barrier of like, okay, well, we're just going in.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's interesting is it's like the sport kayak racing, where did you guys see that? They like drop in off of like drop in like straight up and like plop into a man-made river. And then the river, it's like an artificial river with rapids, and they go through these gates and stuff. But it's like,
Is it pumping water?
Probably. I can't imagine.
did not
It's
know about
100% man-made for sure.
Okay,
I'm
so
pretty sure it's an Olympic sport. I think I saw.
That sounds like a wave pool to me.
Sure.
Kind of. Yeah. Sure does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I would love to hear someone from the Olympics like or read what the like actual black and white line is, because I mean I don't know, they do shooting too, like that's
You know
a
who
gun,
can-
that's like not a
Kevco can get you that
All
from US because those guys have gone to bat a bunch to try to get water skiing in. So he definitely knows all the criteria and the rules and
it's
the,
been
the
on
bureaucracy.
It's been on the short list, right,
Yeah.
of sports for a while, but so it's clearly not out black and white.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is the dividing line?
It would definitely never be boat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it would be a system 2 setup,
For sure.
without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I think that's definitely
Where the IWWF would get their hands all up and be doing fat air tricks for the Olympics, you know?
yeah, that would be interesting to see what that would look like, because I'm sure I don't know, I'm not intertwined in the skating industry or even the surfing one in terms of like what are the surfers and the skaters, like what do they truly feel about how it's represented, because I forget who it was Jagger Eaton. He was waxing a hubba before he was going to hit it, and they told him he had to stop waxing it. I have to imagine the skate community is like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, that's not skateboarding, you know what I mean? So like, how would it change? How would it be represented? Is it going to be just air tricks because somebody else gets their hands on it? And then a lot of the wakeboarders are like, well, that's not what wakeboarding really is at this point. So
I think you could argue how it's represented a lot, but I think what it does is bring a lot of eyes to the industry. So even if you don't agree with how it's represented, it's great for the health of
the eyeballs trump your
Unless you're breakdancing right now.
Yeah, if you're getting
that's got to be a
roasted-
net negative,
Yeah,
right? For
if
breakdancing,
you're
That's
getting
what I'm
roasted the
saying.
whole
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
has to be. I still don't even think wakeboard air tricks. I think we'd be all right.
Yeah.
You get Trent Stuckey in there, some grab peats. We'll be all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wrap those up for the Instagram questions. So thanks everyone for the Patreon and Instagram questions. Love answering those. Let's talk Street Jam. So touched on a little bit earlier, but this is the second year of Wakeboard Street Jam, right?
Yep.
So vibes looked even better this year than they did last year. Crowds look bigger. I think they got permits for all the spots they hit, which is huge.
I was wondering about that watching it. Like,
Yep.
it's a pretty serious rogue event to not
But they did last year without permits, and they ran it. So that's some European type stuff, because that would not fly in America at any place. So that's good. They got permits. It seems like it's kind of leveling up each year in terms of just the energy. They had some Red Bull involvement, I think, maybe this year, which is cool. I don't know. Personally, I would like to see more. I would just like to see this event every year get a little bit bigger, because like as electric winches more people are riding them, the whole street aspect of wakeboarding, is becoming more attainable, more feasible. So I think it's just a good thing for wakeboarding, and I'm super thankful for all the people that put the time and effort into it, and I'm excited to see the recap video. So
I think that contest would be cool. I mean, obviously they change locations, but like really as it grows to really hit like the most famous winch spots you've ever seen. You know what I mean? And just from worldwide and have them jump around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of options in terms of like you could do eventually, a 3-stop Wakeboard Street Jam series where you move from one iconic winch spot to the next, get some involvement and stuff like that. So,
and it is less of a setup than doing a 2.0. It's an easier thing to kind of move around for sure.
It moves slower, which is like one of the drawbacks I would say in terms of the 2.0. But if you have a different content goal in mind, it could definitely work. So.
Well, you brought up Shredtown Jamboree, right? And like I don't think it has to be a live stream. Like you can use it as a content producing event. And
yeah, and especially with how content's put out these days, I think what I see from Red Bull a lot is you get reels that are posted minutes after a trick has happened. So like, who needs the live stream anyways? Like it's going to reels anyways, or it's going to social media. So it's like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to tune into the live stream. And when you compare that to the amount of views all these, social media posts are going to get. And
yeah, even at like Double or Nothing, they have somebody just cutting constantly. You're constantly dumping cards and you're just cutting on the spot as it's happening.
Yeah, because that's just how fast stuff moves these days. And, nobody's going to wait 2 weeks for a recap video to come out. They want that now.
Yeah.
Like, they see stories of people in an event. They want to see the content come from it. So interesting how that stuff works. We got some events coming up to kind of cap off the year, I feel like. Let me know if I'm missing any of these, but we'll start with Wake the City, Milwaukee, August 31st. You'll be there, Guenther.
Yep.
I guess you kind of ran through the format already of it, right? So
yeah, just teams but doubles. You're riding doubles at the same time. One long rope, one short rope, and just use the course the best you can. So, symmetry and getting on the rails at the same time is like totally all in play. And then it's, I think last year we did it was just one round. It was kind of gnarly. It was 12 teams and cut down to 4-person final, I think. And then 4-person final goes, something like that. So,
4-person or 4-team final?
Sorry, 4-team final.
Okay,
yeah, thank you. Yep.
Clarify.
So yeah, that should be pretty sweet.
How many clotheslines are we going to get this year?
A lot.
Okay.
It's always too landing in the back of the person's wake and just
impossible.
Getting axed. Yeah.
Are most people doing, are you tying your own rope in terms of length? Or are you guys going same?
I think it's one set line.
What? One?
Like the line is just set how it is.
Like they're two different lengths though in one set.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
I was just curious on that too. Red Bull Double or Nothing, we got September 7th.
Yep.
I think on that one. And are you doing that too?
More than likely.
Okay. Roadie push again. You're doing a lot, Guenther. Is just what I'm saying.
Has been this Pro Tour this weekend too is 8th contest in a row or something right now.
Oh, I forgot about Pro Tour.
Stringing myself a little thin, not gonna lie.
Guenther, you've never won it before?
What's that?
Rider of the Year?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
okay.
2018. After I won
So you just can't do them back to back.
Well,
he's saying you can't do it twice.
I don't know, because the one time I was maybe I could throw me back in there for that,
Because you definitely came out hot after an injury.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know, I would not say no.
Love it. Yeah, Pro Tour. Let's run through because you two are going to the last Pro Tour. I'm assuming you are, right? You're both going to the Pro Tour stop. So the last one's different too, right?
It's actually going to be the same.
Oh, it's not Team Challenge.
Yeah, Team Challenge got canceled.
Axed. All right. Yeah. Team Challenge gone. What is the format then? Just heats and then finals or whatever?
Yeah, usual qualifying round, semis, finals.
Man, I thought the Team Challenge was pretty cool last year.
Team Challenge was amazing.
So cool.
That's the one that actually almost made our Mount Rushmore list
because
that's the same. It loosened everybody up on the boat side of things. It was totally that we don't the guys are rooting for the girls are rooting for the guys. The shit talking's getting real, but everybody's in such good fun with it, and that I think brought out the best in all of us. And also they're all about the live the post show recap, and to me that made some of the best recap you could ever ask for. Shout out Luca Kidd.
I was just gonna say, was that last year that
was
Luca just went rogue on the mic?
That was incredible.
Man. I'm glad I got to see that video.
Drop that clip in there. That was so good, dude.
I knew who the GOAT was. Tara's the GOAT, She went out there, she put it down, got a solid 4th place. Stoked with how she did. I'm stoked on her. And then I got Shion, the phenom from Japan. No one knew who he was. Everyone's starting to learn the name, and he's going to go bang the dub and seal it for us today.
I mean, strategy across the board. You think you realistically have a chance of winning this today?
Honestly, yes, I do. And if you're not having a chance, if you don't think you got a chance, then why the hell are you even here? You got to go all out. I'm honestly just happy I didn't last year. So to everyone out there who saw that interview last year, I didn't do it this year. So fucking bang!
You're welcome, Luca.
Oh my gosh, that is what came to mind though when I was thinking about the Team Challenge. That was the one that I watched the recap video with the most engagement. I was like, oh, we're moving.
It was
a
fun one.
I like this.
Yeah.
And you get the chicks involved too, which is always good. Like to see that. It's in Tennessee though again.
It is, yeah.
So same spot, just normal.
That does make it a really fun event for everybody involved.
Okay.
But yeah.
There you go, Super. Bring that Team Challenge back. What's the? I mean, I'll put the standings in somewhere here, but you got any odds-on favorites you guys are picking for overall?
So Shota is currently winning the overall right now, and you're right behind him.
Ty, Corey, and I are all tied for second. And then Nick's, so we're 15 points behind Shota, all tied for second. Nick is third, 10 points behind us. So it's definitely a pretty tight one, actually.
Yeah, very tight.
And, you know, we're on the topic of events this year, which has been cool. Up until the last Pro Tour, somebody different won every single boat event, which was pretty exciting. Every single boat event.
Wow.
Nick won Moomba, Massey won Masters, Thomas won Pro Tour, I won Pro Tour, Sam won Wakefest, Ulf won the shootout, Corey won Nationals, Nick won, and then Nick repeated now with that last Pro Tour stop.
Nick, you fucked it up.
But to me, it's been a very exciting year on boat. It's been pretty fun. So.
Yeah. No, it does seem from the outside looking in. I haven't followed it as closely as I have this year, or in years past, but it does seem like a lot of very tight movement going on. Like, it's good stuff. I like it. And Garrett Cortez, for the listeners who listened to the Shop Talk like a couple times ago, we made a bet on who would finish higher at the end of the year, Thomas Herman or Finn Bullock. And Finn has since pulled out of the Pro Wakeboard Tour, so I win by default, which means Garrett Cortez has to hit a double up on a ski, slalom ski.
Sick.
Fully committed.
I want to see a clip of that.
Yeah,
I will facilitate that, Garrett. Yeah, come on over.
I told him it was that, or he dyes his hair bleach like Thomas did, and he's like, "I got kids." I was like, "Okay, you're gonna have 2 less ACLs then, I guess, after you hit this double up." All right, so yeah, when's that final tour stop? Pro Tour stop.
Saturday.
Yeah, we leave tomorrow.
Okay, so it would have already happened. So bold predictions, I guess, then, since this will be Air Tuesday. Who's the winner? Who's the overall winner? Each one of us got to pick.
Me.
You can't not say that.
Oh, man. That's really, really tricky. I would love to see Shota do it as the oldest.
Actually, I second that.
I would love to see Shota do it as the oldest person on tour. So he's going to take my vote.
Okay.
How old is Shota now?
31.
31.
He's 31.
Pretty sure.
Oh, good job, Shota.
I know, right? It's epic.
Still holding it down.
Still going huge.
Huge.
Who you got, Ruck? Overall. Is Ty high within? Can he?
He's
he can
second.
grab it?
He's tied for it right now.
I think that would have been my pick.
Yeah, Ty's going to be my horse on this one.
All right.
That's cool.
And that would be back-to-back overall champ, right?
That would be. That would be.
That'd be a good storyline. I'd like to see that. Last one, we got yard sale, October 9th to 12th. Not fully certain on what all the format is, but they got the dates locked in, so we'll see that.
And it's going to be Halloween themed.
It will be Halloween themed. You going to be there, Ruck?
Possible. What's the date again?
October 9th to 12th. So I think the weekend would be the 12th is the Saturday, so it'd be the 12th would be the
possibly.
Hard possibly. That Friday night, I'm not going to tease too much, but that Friday night, I'm going to do an event, Grab Matters event at the compound, and everyone who is there can be involved. So that's all I'm going to say. There will be cash.
Milk chug.
Nice.
It'll be wakeboarding. I'll just say right now, it's best grab. We're going to do best grab. I'm going to lay up there. But like everybody at the compound, we're going to do a sign-up sheet. You're going to sign up from top to bottom, and you're just going to go off the dock, kicker, best grab. Nice. Everyone's going to be there. We're going to have some
One
cash.
shot.
One shot. That's it. Yeah.
That's cool.
We're going to keep moving quick. Yeah, and I don't know the exact dollar signs yet. Maybe I'll talk to Ruck and we can get a little bit more. But yeah, that's the plan. So definitely try and be there for that if you can. And all these other events, obviously, too. It seems like this year there was a lot of really solid wakeboard events, which is awesome to see. I feel like it's going up. I feel like we're going up, which is awesome. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap this up here? Anything on your mind? Bring up on the pod here.
Yeah, I think talking about things going up, I think it comes down to the riders taking responsibility on, being a part of the industry to bring it up. I think having people like you bringing this type of content to create awareness to history, to what's going on, to what needs to happen for a successful wakeboarding, I think is huge. And, that's a solid
shout out
whacker.
that weed
That's a good
whacker.
weed
That's a
whacker.
solid weed whacker. You just fired that out. You kind of killed my moment, but that's I think that every now and again, wakeboarding might, goes a little astray. It happens when budgets get tight. It happens when, different worldly things happen. But I feel like as a community and the future of wakeboarding right now, I think is on an upswing without a doubt. And you can definitely feel a vibe again. Like people are really pumped for the future of what's to come.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the energy's up. It's a good time to get into wakeboarding if you're getting into wakeboarding. I think because there's a lot to follow. So, you guys got anything else or?
Crush that one, Ruck.
Yeah, let's keep the train rolling. It's sick.
Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks you guys for coming on. It was huge. It's especially Guenther. He's doing every contest this year pretty much. So it's great to get you in here, drink a beer together. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Follow all these boys on social. I'll put everything in the description. So see you guys next time.
Thanks, Hunter.